Hey, my YouTube subscribers, this is Southern Thing Book Club, and we're back for another video where HULU series is going to be dropping on November the 19th of 2024 called Interior Chinatown. If you're interested in this book review in full entirety before the show airs, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in just a second. So welcome back. It's the Southern Things Book Club, and today we are going over Interior Chinatown. It'll be a HULU series on November the 19th of 2024, but before that series begins, we'll go over the book review right here. So before I start this video, I want you to know that this video is for opinion and entertainment purposes only. I'm so sorry for those who are not interested in those spoilers because I will have some in here. And I'm so sorry if this is not the content for you, but hopefully there'll be some other things on our channel that you are interested in. So let's start off with Willis, who is an Asian American actor. He is living in an SOR, which is a single room occupancy. And he's just tired of being in the background of a lot of the people who want to be Asian actors. This journey is him basically trying to come out of that spotlight, and he's longed to play this kung fu guy, which is supposed to be the closest Asian actor in all of the world, and he's been working up to this role all of his life. He's had several different names as a background actor as generic Asian man, background Oriental man, and then dead Asian guy. But he is really longing for this Kung Fu guy title, and we'll be here to see what happens as we continue on with the book review. So before we dig into more of what the book is containing, let's go ahead and watch a small snippet of Interior Chinatown before it becomes a series on HULU, November 19th, 2024, right here.
Nothing exciting ever happens to me or you or anyone we know.
I feel like I'm a background character in someone else's story.
I think that's called being a loser.
Shut up, man.
Police are investigating a missing woman. The abduction may be related to reports of a gang war.
Whoa. Who is that?
She looks Thai.
Dude, she's clearly Korean. Know your Asians.
Holy, what is she doing here?
So I hope this was something that you're interested in, and I hope it intrigued you enough to want to be able to see the series when it drops on November 19th. But let's go into more about the book. So this book is pretty hilarious. I don't know if it was really intended to be that way, but it was definitely something that had its funny parts. We're dealing with a book that is very short, very simple, and it's written in screenplay form. It has some parts where it is novel, but it's mostly written screenplay way. And it talks and starts off mostly about the way of racism, how it represents the reality of racism, but not more in a direct way, more of a relatable way. And it talks about his struggles, and I'm talking about Willis, who is the main character in the book, how he struggles with the way people see him. He lives a lot in his head, and he wants to live up to these special expectations that people see him. But it's relatable because it's what any race can really be dealing with. They can be considered this perfect model, right? And so they're not living up to their expectations, but when most of the time they're living their thoughts in their own head. So it kind of can relate to you if you might have been struggling with, things that's happening in your life and you feel like you're not living up to those expectations, even the expectations of your family. The book breaks down a lot of parts where he is struggling with trying to live up to those family standards. A lot of people do not want him to be this kung fu guy, but yet this is what he wants to pursue. And it got really interesting when his brother started playing the kung fu guy and he wanted to live in his brother's image. But the role just did not apply to his brother, so he ended up quitting, and then he disappeared very mysteriously. So the name of the play is Black and White, and unfortunately, after a little while, they end up killing Willis's character. He has to go at least 45 days before he gets reintroduced as a new character by the studio's opinion. And so now he is outside smoking a cigarette and he runs into a young lady by the name of Miss Karen Lee. Miss Karen Lee and him start to get to know each other and they start a romantic relationship. He is keeping on his journey to become this kung fu guy. But Karen has some more important news. She has decided that she wants to be a part of a show. They gave her her own show, and she's also pregnant. So what happens is when Willis ends up, after a year, getting the chance to go back and work as the kung fu guy, he finally gets a chance to get that, to be that role. He realizes that his marriage is pretty much over. Throughout the whole book, I might have missed a couple of steps, but to summarize it pretty closely, this is what ends up happening. He ends up losing the job. 45 days goes by. They get pregnant. She ends up getting her own show. He gets to be kung fu guy afterwards, and then he ends up realizing that his marriage is over and he wants it back. So he steals the car and goes and finds Karen. He goes and finds Karen. He also finds his daughter named Phoebe, who is also in a children's show by the name of Mimi. And they are trying to get to know each other as well because he is getting introduced to his daughter. So while Willis is watching Phoebe on this show, the police come and they end up arresting Willis for stealing the car from the set. So now it's time for Willis to appear in court, and when he does, his older brother seems to appear out of nowhere. And his brother is basically explaining to Willis that the reason why he left the big role was because he wanted to go to school for law, and he is there to help him. So while in court, one of the people whose car he stole told him that Willis feels like he has this sense of inferiorism and he just doesn't know how to act normal. And so as older brother, which is his attorney at this time, explains to about Willis that it's impossible for an Asian man to be accepted in American culture because of the long levels of discrimination that has been happening against Asian immigrants within the U.S. So basically, at the end of the day, the jury ends up finding him guilty. Basically, they broke it down as becoming the generic stereotype that the world has forced on him of letting those stereotypes define him. And so he ends up getting found guilty for the disappearance. So y'all, after all of this is happening, he's been found guilty. Him and his other brother has decided that they're going to use their kung fu skills in order to break up out of this courtroom. And it basically brings the courtroom to a chaos. The story pretty much ends on that note, but it closes with an epilogue in which Willis watches his father and his daughter laughing together in the kitchen, and then Willis and his father play each other's roles, and he hopes that his daughter will teach him to move freely between worlds. And that can pretty much conclude this whole thing. I truly enjoyed the book. It was something that was relatable, like I said before. And it brings some eye-opening things to us as we read it. If it's something that you were interested in, or if you had some extra thoughts about the book, please make sure that you like and leave some things down in the comment for us to read. We also have a Telegram, which is a Southern Stang book club, where we will be discussing this book. But like I said, we'll be waiting for it in real time on November the 19th of 2024, interior Chinatown. And so if you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.